Hey guys, we are talking four-wheel drive chassis. When you should and when you shouldn't upgrade to this. And so let's get into it. All right, so we have a really nice four-wheel drive chassis here that's been designed. Now, so one might question, why would I put a new chassis underneath my four-wheel drive, right? Especially 67, 72, 73, 79. You know, those chassis are pretty decent. The struggle is it's still 1968, 1979 technology, right? And so a lot of the power that a lot of people want to put into those chassis, they can kind of struggle a little bit. The geometry with some of the things is back then was just designed for, you know, like the rear tires were narrower than the front, you know, that stance. And so there's a lot of like little quirky things that were done back then. And so when you look at today's standards and you're looking at wanting to drive your four-wheel drive pickup truck, right, you want to have something that feels more like an F-150, F-250 kind of crossover. Anyway, so we got this really cool four-wheel drive stuff. Now, we've worked hard at trying to engineer this, and so we worked on this particular chassis with Porterbuilt, some of our engineers. But we're going to get into it. We're going to kind of go over more details, and we've got this chassis here. This customer ordered up this chassis, and he requested, it was set up to have a Gen 3 Coyote motor with a Whipple supercharger, and so all this has been put together. So we helped him get the supercharger installed on it. We helped put the front runner system on it that we purchased, and from Power by the Hour, and a couple of things we did to it to get everything to kind of fit. You can see, you know, it's tight, you know, it's a little close, but listen, as long as we got a 1/4 inch clearance from everything, we're pretty happy. This isn't going to really move. These motors are really balanced. They don't torque where things are just, you know, moving like some of the old school stuff, but they do have a lot of torque and they got a lot of instant power, but it's just balanced, right? The engineering that Ford is doing is super cool. And so we've got this sitting in here. It's designed to fit right where we want it to fit, up against the firewall, with a transmission high hump for four-wheel drive. Transmission, everything clears. Won't have a lot of issues. So pretty cool, a lot of power. I mean, you're gonna have 700 horsepower here. You get standard with a 3.875 pulley. And when I was talking with Whipple about this, you know, we talked about what's the best setup. And so a 3-liter Whipple supercharger, quite frankly, is enough. Some people are like, I want the bigger 3.8, I want more power. You can get 800-900 horsepower out of this. You know, you set it up correctly. But daily driving, this is the best Whipple supercharger you can put on, is that 3-liter. It's super nice, it's easy to plumb, and everything's, you know, works that way. But if you went down to a 3.75 pulley, each 1/8 of an inch size pulley smaller actually will help you get a little bit more power. So that's 1 pound of boost. So, but when we talk steering, so we've got this steering box, brand new box we get from Redhead, and we've actually got it designed where you can actually have it plumbed for hydro boost. Some people want to do hydro boost, some people may not, but at least it's set up for you and it's not a problem for you later. It makes it a little bit easier to plumb your vehicle. So all set up with hydro boost. That connects down here into these billet tie rod ends and track bars. And so we have this built out of really rigid aluminum by a company called RPM. And they're really big in the off-road market, Jeeps, and a lot of that kind of stuff. And so when you want steering that's going to be robust, it's not going to have a lot of like play and bend and flex in it, which is, you're going to feel that in your steering wheel. It's really, honestly, it is the best. It's the very best that we could possibly go out and find, and it works really well. And it's just this Goliath of a size right here, and it's going to provide a lot of stability. You can get it upgraded with a steering stabilizer. That's an extra you can purchase. We have a kit for that. You can buy it at any given time, and we can actually show what it looks like on another truck here. And so they also upgraded, check out these rotors. And so we did 16-inch rotors with massive calipers. And so it's going to be cool. He's got a lot of stopping power. The standard brakes that come with it will stop it just fine, right? It's the ones that like Ford is using on F-250s. It will work, but this is just a little bit cooler, right? If you're gonna have a nice billet wheel or something on here, this might actually, you know, be able to show it off a little bit more and fill it up, you know, like 20s or 22s you might be running. So very cool. All right, so that takes care of our drivetrain, engine, our steering. And so let's kind of walk around and we'll talk about the transmission. So with the transmission, we've got a 10R80 here. He chose an Atlas transfer case, which means he wants the sticks inside the cab. You can also get this with a Ford transfer case as well. And then from there, if you take a look here, all of our headers are designed, have some clearance here. Dual exhaust all the way through out the back. A lot of guys will go 2 into 1 because it's easier, quite honestly. Anytime we can run dual exhaust, we try to do that. Not all the time does that work out, so sometimes we have to go 2 into 1. But we've got resonators. Check out these resonators there. A little flex bellow pipe right there, just in case you need that little. The motors might make a little bit of movement there, and so that provides just a little bit of flexibility for the rest of the exhaust system so nothing cracks. Goes through 2 resonators. It's supercharged, so it's 3-inch stainless steel exhaust into a couple MagnaFlow mufflers and then out the back. It should be pretty good. In the event that it's not, we recommend adding another set of resonators. Sometimes we'll put a small set of resonators in the back just to help out, and that will tone it down a little bit. But oftentimes you just got to start it up and see what it is you might need. So anyway, with all that said, the next is the suspension. So right now we're using Locked Off Road, great company, and they provide a really nice quality coilover and remote reservoir, and allows us to have just this nice comfortable ride. We work really hard to try to get spring rates and comfort and how much we charge this and what the spring rate is. Those are some things that we constantly are managing and making sure that ride quality is good. Everybody has a different idea of ride quality, and so a lot of that's going to dictate this right here. And so we generally will swap a spring out for somebody. If you need a little bit of help, we can swap some springs out for you to make sure that you're getting exactly the ride quality you want. It's not a big deal. It's a couple springs, they're not that expensive, and we want to make sure it feels really good. So we've talked about the drivetrain, we've talked about the suspension, the steering, we've talked about the exhaust, and so let's go back here and talk about the fuel tank. So this is a side fill pocket fill for a 73-79. And so this will basically come up 45 in here. You got a vent here, and this will allow for a bedside fill. It's also got our pump is already installed in it, and this is for a GT500 pump, so it can handle the supercharger just fine. And then you're going to get a pigtail right here for you that will also have your fuel level sensors in here. If you notice, there's not one right here. It's because it's built into the fuel pump, and so it just makes it super easy. If you get Dakota Digital gauges, they're providing that extra sensor for you to set it up correctly here. Then we're connecting fuel lines, AN fuel lines, all the way up into the motor, and it works great. We have 0 issues. This right here is a vent, right? All things have a vent. This is another kind of a little vent. This right here, though, this is where you're going to want to connect like a vapor trapper. This is where you're going to want to try to control the exhaust in your garage. And so you connect these to a vapor trapper, it'll vent, and you'll collect all the fumes. And it's basically a tubular billet charcoal canister. It's definitely something that everybody should put on. We don't sell it with the chassis, but it's an item that's, if somebody get their truck all built and they want to add this, we highly recommend adding that charcoal canister to it. Go to the website. If you don't have one, you're watching this video and you're thinking, man, my truck smells, it's in my garage and I hate that. Go to the website, it's called Vapor Trapper, pick yourself one up. They got a 6-inch and an 8-inch. You can get it in, a silver or black. I even think they got blue and red. We mostly stock the silver and black. Well, from there, we're talking about the chassis next, right? You got front and rear sway bars. And then we have a couple variations with a triangulated rear end or a 4-link rear end. Some people just prefer, one over the other. And so you have that option. And so it's 4-linked up front, and you can check that out. But one thing that we did is kind of cool. Check this out right here. So have you ever tried to strap down a 4-wheel drive truck and there's a lot going on with brake lines and fuel lines, and where do you strap it down? This is a cool little thing we built into it, which is actually a hook for you to strap your truck down. Generally, we have them in the front and the rear. If you take a look back here, there's one right here. If you take a look and you just get a little hook in there, boom, and then you can cross these right here and you can strap it down. It provides a very easy location. for hooking it and strapping your chassis, and if you had to, you know, tow it somewhere. I hate trying to like, where am I going to hook this, and it makes it extra difficult. And so these are like the little things where we felt like, how do we make it easier for us, you know? And if we're going to make it easy for us, how, you know, can we make it easy for you guys as well? And so a lot of the little things that are really helpful in designing a chassis. Designing a chassis, there's a lot that goes into it. It's massive. As you look, there's a lot of pieces. We got the fuel lines, we got the brake lines all ran. They're just ready for you to really at this point drop your body on it. Then you're putting your radiator in, and a lot of these guys are buying the radiator, the AC kits. They're buying kind of all those little bits and pieces. They're getting all that installed, and it's really cool to be able to like simplify this, right? Make it as simple as we can for you guys. And so that hopefully in your own garage, I mean, that's the goal, right? You want to be able to do some of the work, or you're a shop and you really want to, as a shop, be able to like have the headache of this because it's very labor intensive and it costs a lot of money, and just be able to go right and speed it up and get through the project and get your customer driving, you know, quicker. So it works great for both the shop and the DIY guy in the garage, right? It's great for both. So some people have asked me, why do we have this up here, right? A little strut tower brace. You don't have to use it. You can take it off, and we can make you a little plate here if you chose not to use it. I kind of like the rigidness of it, and it provides just an extra rigidness of the chassis. The whole chassis, what you will find different than a lot of chassis is this is all 3/16 plated steel that's been laser cut, bent, welded. It is as strong of a chassis as you're going to find on the market. You won't find another one that's stronger than this. This is going to be the most rigid, best built chassis that you will find, okay? That's kind of the Fat Fender Garage way, right? How do we provide the very best, but try to engineer it to not break? How do we engineer it to meet our customers' needs in all areas, right? And we're constantly making little tiny tweaks, you know, to help improve that, right? As we're building a lot of trucks here, and we'll have about 25, 30 trucks we're building at any given moment. And at that same time, you know, we make these improvements over there, and you guys get the benefit of that, right? And we're trying to, you know, be able to offer those parts, you know, to you guys as well. So anyways, I hope that was really helpful for you guys as we talked about this chassis. This actually is a Gen 2 Bronco chassis, right? And so 1978, 79 Ford Bronco chassis. So if you have that Gen 2 Bronco and you're looking for that chassis, this is what this is. That's why it's kind of, you know, scrunched up a little bit, but it's completely designed. And oh, and I forgot to mention that you're gonna have almost 30 gallons of fuel. So 30 gallons of fuel with this engine here. If you keep your foot out of it just a little bit, I know it's gonna be really hard because it is hard for me. You'll still get between 16, 18 miles per gallon, believe it or not. Really made to be driven. This thing, I hope if you come and you wanna purchase one, I hope you drive it. I hope you get it done. I hope you drive it every day. That's what we want you to do, is enjoy it, drive it, look cool, feel cool, and at the end of the day, feel safe, feel reliable. 1978, 1979 Ford Gen 2 Bronco chassis, all the bells and whistles that you can get. And if you're interested, please call. We have some great sales guys here that are happy to walk you through the process, the steps, and all the things that you're looking for in a chassis, why we build it the way. Ask all the questions. Like, we're here to help you guys be successful with your build, and we will see you next time on our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you find us. Happy hot rodding.